Hey guys, Justin here and welcome to another gear release radar. This one's fresh off NAMM. Some of the things I'm going to be talking about today are from the NAMM show and others are released together with the NAMM show. In this series, I talk about how the gear releases relate to worship ministry and how they might be applicable for the worship musician. So let's start off with a couple of guitars and then a few pedals. The first piece of news is that Relish Guitars has closed down. They were a very innovative guitar company. Now these guys are really cool. They have very innovative guitar designs and they had these crazy custom colors which were very nice, but the most interesting thing about them is that you could take a pickup set like this and you could take out the back of the guitar, swap the pickups in and out without having to resolder everything, without having to take out the strings and resolder, all that jazz. Instead of having to buy 3 or 4 guitars with 3 or 4 different pickups, you could get one guitar and swap the pickups out as you needed to have different sounds and different combinations of those sounds. Unfortunately, the website is down. They are completely offline and it's not possible to buy any of the guitars new anymore. So the only way to snag one of these is through the dealers. And in Singapore, Music Connoisseur still sells these. So if you're interested in getting one of these and you don't mind the fact there's not going to be much after sales support, this could be the way in. Second piece of news, Yamaha released the Pacifica Professional line. The few things that I'm looking out for is like a compound radius fingerboard, which is really cool. In a compound radius, the first few frets, the neck's a bit more curved and it flattens out as you go towards 12th and fret and beyond. So chords are easier at the front end of the guitar and playing lead is easier at the top of the guitar, which is pretty cool. Based on the audio demos of this guitar's pickups, I can tell that the pickups are very clean, they're very clear, pristine, the kinds of qualities that you want in a worship style guitar. With coil splitting, this guitar becomes a versatile machine to play both the heavier stuff and the lighter stuff. So 2 issues. The first issue is the price. This to me is going to price out a lot of players. Not many of us will have that kind of money to splurge on a guitar of this caliber with this price point. And at $3,500 and beyond, I'd rather be looking at a PRS or something. The second thing is the aesthetics. Now, it's a standard S-shaped guitar. My problem is not that it looks like an S-shaped guitar. My problem is that it looks like the other guitars in the range, like the Pacifica 012-100 series, which is their cheapest model. So from afar, if I just cycle between the pages, you can't really tell that these are thousands of dollars apart. Now, this is 10 times the price of the Pack 100. I don't have a problem with cheap looking expensive, but I do have a problem if you paid the money for it that expensive guitars look cheap. So if you are in the market for a Pacifica Professional, do check out the colors that are not in the rest of the line. So I think this guitar and this color is the way to go. That being said, the Pack 600 series is the best value for money, I think, in the Pacifica line. They're undergoing a price revision, and my favorite model, which is the Pack 611 HFM, the hardtail version, is going for $730, which is a steal. If you find one of these, do try it out. P90 in the neck and a humbucker in the bridge. It is versatile. It does everything that you could ask for in a P&W style guitar. It plays well, and most importantly, it sounds fantastic. I think this guitar sounds more expensive than it actually is. Do check it out. Next up is from Hotone, and it's the Audio Tuner Press. It's a volume pedal, it's a tuner, it's an expression pedal all in one. I'm going to start the video right here because if you're using an Ernie Ball modded tuner pedal, the one that is going to cost you hundreds of dollars, you might be getting the ubiquitous experience of using the Ernie Ball volume pedal. But it's also a volume pedal living on borrowed time. It uses a string which will break. This design, although plastic, is going to last you so much longer than a string. If you're not breaking strings and an Ernie Ball volume pedal, you're not playing enough guitar. I suspect that this is going to be a budget-friendly version that's going to replace many of those tuner mod pedals that we see on P&W forums. Speaking of not playing enough guitar, this next pedal is interesting. It's the Uwu Virtual Pet Buffer, which has a Tamagotchi in the guitar pedal. It's a buffer pedal with a virtual pet that reacts to your guitar playing. It grows up the more you play. So, as a guitarist in a worship team who is mentoring other guitar players, so I imagine with the budget, I'm going to build a beginner board with this buffer pedal right in front for my student, and I'm going to check his Tamagotchi level when I meet up with him for those discipleship sessions. Hey, you've been playing guitar? Let's check your Tamagotchi. Hey, it's the same level as last week. You've not been practicing. Yes, it's gimmicky, but it's fun, and you should be having fun while playing your guitar. The last pedal we're looking at is the Endgame by KMA Machines. This is a doozy of a pedal. It's got so much functionality in it, so much utility. I love it. This pedal does a ton of things. It's an IR loader, it's a doubler, it has balanced XLR output so you can go straight to the front of house. Importantly for worship players, it has a stereo FX loop. send and returns stereo FX loop. This pedal will be extremely useful for those of you who use UA pedals. UA pedals sound fantastic, they feel fantastic, but they are mono in, mono out, and they don't have headphone outputs, which makes it very hard to monitor yourself. So I'm imagining you have your UA pedal right next to this, and then you send off the stereo sense to your Strymon pedals, your stereo delays, your stereo reverbs, what have you. And then you can monitor your stereo signal with the headphone outputs as well as sending stereo to the front of house. So wait, there's more. Have you sent your signal to the front of house and then through the monitoring rig? And when you hear your process signal through the in-ear monitoring station, it just sounds weird and off. Some of you guys may have to run mono signals and then you collapse your stereo into mono. What this can do is that you can take the IEM signal, place it in the aux in of the pedal. You can configure this pedal such that the aux in does not come out of the XLR outputs. It only comes out of the headphones. So what you can do is you can send your IEM signal to the aux in. You can mix it in with the mix control over here. With the aux mix, you can blend in your entire pedal board signal with the IEM signal that you get from the station. So what you will hear from the board is going directly into your ears. Why is this important? You play your best when you're most inspired. And sometimes when you get your whole pedal board, you've got the sounds dialed in just right, your stereo pedals and your stereo delay and reverbs. You send it out, it comes back to you mono, it comes back lifeless and just dead. You don't feel like playing and you're not playing at your best. With this pedal and with this method of routing, you are able to have complete control of how you sound in your ears, regardless of what it sounds like in the monitoring rig and what it sounds like in the front of house. I know that's another issue for another time, but at least you'll be in control of how you sound like in your ears. That's it for this episode of Gear Release Radar. Do check out previous episodes in the playlist that I'm going to put at the end, and I'll see you in the next one.